My sense is the average quality of the senior civil service that we now have is distinctively less good than it was, say, 50 years ago, or 55 years ago when you entered service. Um, First, would you agree with that assessment, which is sort of lurking in your book? You don't actually say that flat out, I don't think. And if you do, because if you do, it's a serious issue. What should one do about it? I mean, we've had all these different administrative reforms commissions and so on to solve various issues, but it's not clear to me that a great deal has emerged from them in terms of implementation, or whether there are other solutions we should be looking for.
Hmm. It's a very complex issue, Shankar, and you recognize more than anyone else that not amiable to any simple answers, which would be quite naive looking at the complexities. But yes, I have mentioned the fact that, and that is also connected in the chapter on the Prime Minister's office and the evolution of the Prime Minister's office, if you recall, that the fact that within a span of 4 months, four very important, well-recognized civil servants were transferred out of the positions in which they had acquired great domain knowledge was that a signaling effect to the system, that what really mattered was not their domain knowledge, but it was the Prime Minister's office at that time, which I have mentioned quite starkly, which marked a watershed. And that marked a watershed, therefore, which is there, which you allude to, and there is no shying away from that. Now, your second question of the fact that do I lament necessarily the fact that the new breed of civil servants or the new civil servants who are in important positions do not match up to what they were earlier? I wouldn't necessarily agree with that, because my own experience seems to be that given an opportunity, the present class of civil servants, both intellectually, in terms of acumen, domain knowledge, are in no way inferior or less bright than existed earlier. And it would be somewhat unfair to say that by way of skills, they are any inferior to the group that, I mean, I, for instance, felt in my own generation, and since your father was that, I felt that maybe we were not as good, or they felt we were not as good. And it's part of human nature that we feel that the next set of people may or may not be as good. But the third and last point, what does one do to improve the way in which skills and quality of and is recognized? Should meritocracy be judged in by systems and methodologies which are transparent, and should that be respected? Do we need how to usher a merit-based order? Now, in a complex society like ours, which has many other problems of social inclusiveness and so on, one shouldn't really commit the mistake of trying to give answers which, as I said, will look to be very naive. But yes, it is an issue that needs to be addressed. Successive administrative reforms committee or commissions, which you mentioned, have not been able to do so. And it is an important issue which should remain a high priority concern in the affairs of public policy.